I have to share this because I am so irritated. I'm just going to get my coffee. As I'm waiting for it, I watch this mom and dad walk out with a baby in a stroller. And 5 minutes later, I walk out with my coffee and I see the mom putting the baby in the car. And the dad is sitting in the passenger seat. So whatever. I walk to my car and I'm there in my rear view mirror or my side mirrors, whatever. And I look and she then pushes the stroller to the back of the car and he's still sitting in the car and she's putting everything in the back of the car. What is wrong with men these days? Like, that's ridiculous. She literally just put the baby in the car, then continues to put the stroller in the back, the bag in the back, and all her things.
She's going to sink, Captain. But she can't sink. She's unsinkable.
I will say it officially here on this channel. This queen is being one very nosy Karen in this video. The irony is that she appears to be wearing a uniform similar to those working in the medical field. She should know there really isn't a way to 100% verify if a person has a disability that hinders them from activities just from seeing them sitting. I mean, the guy is in the passenger seat. Maybe if the guy can't drive, he can't lift anything. How far along the men don't help us anymore section do some of these queens need to go until they realize the world doesn't revolve around them? Besides, I thought you queens were all about equality and doing things for yourselves. Now, this is a rare opportunity to point out what men have been saying for a long while now. Women, by default, measure men by what men can do for them. It's not uncommon to hear stories of women putting in for divorce once a man cannot financially provide for her as he once did. It's by default women go with the me attitude and what have you done for me lately mentality. But the tides are turning and fewer men are trapping themselves in the legal confines of marriage. Hey, if you're not married, she can still walk away, but there isn't a payout at the end. Moving on.
Men always did everything to protect women. Welcome to People Say I Can Disprove in just under a minute. The narrative that men are the natural protectors of women is as old as time, but it's more literary fiction than a historical reality. Take Middle Ages, for instance. We're all familiar with the stories of knights in shining armor rescuing damsels in distress. But as historian Richard Walker once put it, they're as far removed from the reality of Middle Ages as they are from our own. Because they aren't based on the behavior of actual knights, but the ideas of European neo-romantic writers in the late 19th century. Even the women and children first thing was never true either. It got popularized thanks to Titanic, but actually according to a study of sea disasters spanning 3 centuries, it's women who had the lowest survival rates, as men almost always left them behind. So no, men aren't our protectors. If anything, you could make a stronger case, they're our natural predators.
Mama say that happiness is from magic rays of sunshine that come down when you're feeling blue.
You know, sometimes I come across a video that is so desperate to make women seem like victims and with a fanatical vigor to try to prove men are these monsters that it feels almost unfair to make a video based on a simple search that pointed out the dramatic flaws of this queen's stated study. A link in the description. According to the Ballgame article, critiquing Mikael Elander/Oscar Ericsson's study of maritime disaster, which was based on only 18 cherry-picked wrecks between 1852 to 2011, even though there were well over 100 wrecks in the 20th century alone, not including wartime maritime disasters, by the way. In 2 of the incidents, it's unknown whether the captain gave the women and children first order. That leaves 16 shipwrecks. 10 of those occurred prior to the end of World War I. Out of those 10, the women and children first order was given on 5 occasions. In other words, this mythic order actually occurred half the time during that period. Ballgame continues in this follow-up, noting that the fact the order was strongly associated with a particular era was easy to see and frankly pretty unsurprising, yet the significance of this fact is completely ignored in the study's conclusion. It would not, in my opinion, be too strong a statement to say that the study's conclusions basically obfuscate this fundamental fact. End ball games comments. Now, to this so snarky and partially informed queen, she didn't even need to do a 3-minute internet search. She could just look at history. How exactly could women survive without men protecting them? Short answer is they couldn't. But keep trying to look like the victim while simultaneously being independent and empowered. It makes for an entertaining watch. Moving on.
Ladies, here is a secret tip for knowing quickly exactly where you stand with your man. Ask him for a favor or help with something. If he is thrilled for the opportunity to help you, you're golden. If he hems and haws or is not so enthusiastic, you're in trouble. Because a man in love or deep like or obsessed, name your adventure, he will be happy to have that stage to show off his ability to flex for you, to be the big strong man, to be needed, to save the damsel in distress. If he wants you, he wants to make it happen for you, right? And if he doesn't, or if he's in no big rush, honey, you're the damsel in the wrong dress. You're a pain in his ass. And there's your sign.
I don't believe I heard you correctly.
Every time I see another one of this queen's relationship advice videos, I understand more and more why she is divorced. Let's get this straight. According to this queen, a man shows how much he is infatuated with his significant other by his reaction to her requesting for him to do physical labor. While they're my advanced post-war queen, so according to her logic here, a good example is after a woman gets her money's worth dining out on a Taco Tuesday special at her local Tex-Mex restaurant, and she unloads her bowels from that half-price delicious corn-shelled laxative into a cute understripped, low-noise flush toilet. Her man is supposed to be ecstatic. She asks him to go in there and tackle those floaters clogging up the bowl. And if he isn't happy about it, there's something wrong with his emotions towards her. Hey ladies, call me a misogynistic gorilla all you want, but I can't recall the last time I heard a man say, oh boy, cutting my woman's lawn, fixing her car, and moving her heavy appliances is better than going to a theme park. No. Your man will do these things, but using his enthusiasm as a relationship measuring tool is doltish. But hey, you queens can listen to this awesome advice from a middle-aged divorced woman. Yeah, it will lead you to the relationship promised land, as in Divorceville. Moving on.
Oh, look, it's the false imagery of a guy in 2023. It's funny because check engine lights or get a flat. I've been with my husband for 4 years now, and I never had any of those problems. You guys love to put on these types of arguments of things usually men do once a year, tops, as if it's comparable to the workload of taking care of a house, of working outside, like having a full-time job, and also taking care of the house, doing the laundry, doing the dishes, sweeping, dusting, doing all those things. In your head, that's only the woman's responsibility. That's why he can't help, right? No, honey, that's his responsibility too. I'm very lucky that my husband is the type of man that understands his responsibilities in the house. Not only financial, not only the safety, but the environment, taking care of the environment that he lives in.
Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
She has been with her husband and has never had a check engine light issue. Wow, queen, that is amazing logic. I mean, those lights never go on, and they are there just for show, as you said. Men exaggerate that stuff. Or maybe, just maybe, the reason your check engine light doesn't go on is because your husband gives your car maintenance checks, as men tend to do to avoid expensive repairs. And no, a once-a-year check is not reality. Depending on how often you drive, your car hood will be popped more regularly. And for comparison, please, ladies, tell us men what would constitute a more dire situation. The laundry wasn't done or your car is broken down. Yeah, great comparison there, queen. Tell you what there, to this fully shared responsibility, queen. How about you let him do the dishes and laundry for a week while you pay the bulk of the bills, cut the grass, and give the cars the required maintenance. Oh, don't forget to be the one who wrestles with any possible home invaders during that week. It's awesome how some queens like to downplay a man's role until the crap hits the fan and they want that toxic masculinity to come in and and save the day.
And emotionally taking care of me, emotionally taking care of his daughter, emotionally taking care of himself emotionally. That's what's lacking for you. Because for you, women are what? Just beautiful things you have in your house to keep it clean, cook for you so you can go work your 8-hour, 10-hour, 12-hour shift, whatever it is. And so when you get home, everything is clean and perfect, and you can just sit back and watch TV and relax. If you have kids, you can go to the backyard and like play some balls, play some catch for 30 minutes, and then you hand them back to the wives, right? So they can deal with it, so they can give them a bath. They can put the kids to sleep. You really think things like changing a flat, which, by the way, I can do just by calling road assistants that we pay for, do you really think that's comparable with the amount of workload that there is in a household? Think about it.
Oh, sister, we have thought about it. In fact, most men just outsource the thinking about it to the single, strong, independent queens who make similar videos complaining there aren't any good men out there willing to swoop in anymore and take care of them. It's all about being a bad bee until you find yourself staring at the lonely, poverty-stricken cat lady lifestyle once you are a decade plus post-wall queen and find out that check engine lights and flat tires were nothing compared to the difficulties to come. While all the top-tier male prospects have moved on to the younger queen selection. But you tell those men how wrong they are and how you don't need no man. While having a husband who does a lot in the home, I am sure his help will not be missed if you decide to go full bad by yourself boss babe. I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.